Boom. Happy Easter, everybody. How are we doing? Bank holiday Monday. Where are you all? You all sat there lounging out, getting ready for the week ahead. It's great to be back now with the Hair Show because, yeah, as you remember last time, I said we're going to be fortnightly, and that is exactly what we are. So absolutely wonderful. My name's Dom Lehane, voice behind the podcast, How to Cut It. And it's great to have you all here. And I had such a great feedback from you all last week, 2 weeks ago on the Hair Show. You really enjoyed the conversation format, and that is the route that we are now taking. Yes, the Hair Show is all about your voice. It's your voice that really makes this show, the Everyday Hairdressers Show. So we want you to be part of this conversation so much. We want to flag up your names on the screen. I can see a lot of you are joining in the group. I think Dave is going to be putting a link into the comments, and that link you just need to confirm with Ecamm, because that's the software that we use, that you're happy for us to flag up your name and face on the inside the group. It's just that the group settings are private, and that is why if you're watching on my own Facebook profile, great. If you're watching on YouTube, no problem. But look, get involved. We've got some big conversations, and you've been coming through to us with conversations that you would like us to discuss. What conversations would you like us to discuss? Put them in the comments. This is what it's all about. Comments, I see them coming in down here, 20-second delay. So always bear with us. But we've got some great things. So let's have a look. What are we going to be talking about? Well, no, I'll tell you what, before we go to that, let's just do a few. Who we got in? So first in, we'll take a comment tonight. Emma, how you doing, Emma? Lovely to see you. One of our insider members at Platform. Our good regular Lee. Lovely to see you here. Happy Easter to you, Lee. Yeah, here we are. Facebook user. So I have no idea who that is because it's just showing at Facebook user. You may all see the name, but I can't. So again, if Dave can put the link into the comments, great. We've got Janet there from Pivot Point. How you doing, Janet? We got Ryan here. Hey, Ryan, great to see you along again. Really good to have you here. Rachel, how you going, Rachel? Great to see you. Tony Allen Howard. Tony, you're not Tony Allen Howard, but we all know. How you doing, Tony? Great to see you here, my friend. Lots of Facebook users. Happy Easter, Dom. Happy Easter. Has it been a good weekend? Has it been great, sun shining? Ready for the week ahead? Okay, Colette's there. Great to see you, Colette. Heather's here. Heather, we've got Becky there. Becky, great image you shared in the community. Really got a lot of love, that look that you shared. Oh, remember that. Get sharing your images. So great. You're doing good. Okay, what we got coming up before we introduce my two gorgeous hosts, who I just love hanging out with, George and Norman. But before we bring them up, this is what we have got coming your way for part of the conversation. So if you think like there's some things that you would like to add to this, get thinking now. So yes, flagging up, cost of living crisis. Yeah, what is the impact it's now having on your salon business? We're 4 months in, since it all, 5 months in now, since really things blew up. Is it impacting you as much as you thought? Are there things that you're doing to overcome this? Let us know. That's what we're going to be going to. Let's take that one away. We have got this one coming up. Hair Awards. Is entering Hair Awards right for you? We're going to be going into that. Why you should enter them. Maybe not. Any advice? We're going to be talking those. Always a popular one. Hair educators. What makes a good and not so good hair educator? Interesting. And we're going to then go future of industry trade shows. We love them. Do you love them? Are there things that you'd like to see different? Do they still excite you? Are you going to them? These are the things that we are going to be talking. But also, please remember, this is your show, the Everyday Hairdresser Show. Your voice matters. Get your conversations in. We're going to be flagging you all up, just like I do here, because we've got Happy Easter, the hairdresser guy. Welcome along. Are you watching on YouTube, the hairdresser guy? How you doing? Great to see you here. There's the link, by the way. Facebook users, Georgia Bell's comment. If you see that, click on that. It takes you all of seconds to do. Just confirm that you're happy for us to show your face on if you're watching in the group. All right. So, we're ready for it. We're ready to meet my delightful hosts, who I'm honestly hanging out with on a Monday night is just a pleasure. They bring so much to the show, and they're looking beautifully coloured tonight. So, let's welcome to the Hair Show. Lots of love hearts, please, from you all, Georgia Bell and Norman Boulton. How you doing, both?
Hey.
Did you phone each other up and say, what are you wearing tonight, Norman?
Absolutely not. We're just completely in sync with one another, Dom, I think.
It's looking...
We're just romantic. Romantic, honey.
It's a
So
romantic
just
of
to let you
you.
know, because people sometimes wonder, they think that somebody actually did ask me this, George Norman. They said, "Where are you all when you're recording these?" Well, I'm in my studio where I do my podcasting from. Norma, where are you?
I'm in a top secret location, Dom. No, I'm in my bedroom. It's not as exciting,
Is
but
it
And
I
your
have a
bedroom?
ring
I
light, which helps.
and I'm in my porch
Okay, and just again, where do you live, George? Whereabouts in the country?
in Rotherham. Good
Hey,
old Rotherham.
Norman, where
And
do you live?
I am in East London. I'm an East Ender,
There you
but
go.
I'm not
And I'm in
popular.
Northamptonshire. So that tells you that we are all around the UK. All right. So we're not all just London based here. So, yeah, great. Yeah, look, we just got the comments coming in. Hey, loves. They're all happy to see us. Just seen Safi
Hi,
uh,
everyone.
join. Yeah, it's been busy for you, George. You've been working today, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been working all bank holiday. Cost of living crisis, Dom. You've got to do what you need to do, baby.
Let's not jump to it, but we'll come on to that. How many of you are actually been working today? That'd be interesting. Maybe you could just drop it in the comments. Have you worked all day, all weekend, Easter? Is Easter a good earner? Is it good earner for you, Norman?
Easter, yeah, I would say it's a busy time of it. To be honest, it's just all pretty chocker at the moment, so I can't
Mm.
really work out when it's like a quiet time because it feel like it's just all systems go at the minute.
George,
It's
is it
nice to be
Yeah,
busy for
busy,
you
hey?
at East? Do you
yeah.
find
I
Easter?
mean,
What do you find on it?
yeah. It's always busy for me, but I have like my team just got a little bit smaller. By two people have recently left, so obviously I'm working all the hours at the moment. So it wouldn't
Look at
matter whether
this.
it's like Easter, Tuesday, Sunday, whatever. I'm there. I'm just like on it. So
Ryan, you worked yesterday, Easter Sunday. Wow,
Oh, that's
we.
harsh.
That is
yeah,
harsh.
mate.
Was it busy for you, Ryan? I'd be interested to know on that.
And did your
Lee, when did
clients get
Lee
you some
work?
chocolate
Lee, I worked
eggs?
Good Friday, Saturday off, yesterday in today. So we've been, yeah, working the bank holidays there,
Oh,
Lee.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one, guys. Like honestly.
Colette, always working. Yeah, I'm sure you're working on lots, Colette, as well, on many things going on. Oh, Rachel, you're off. You have a wrist injury right now, so let's hope that gets better soon. We got Safi, 4-day weekend for me and the team. We need to relax time too. Totally honest, totally honest. What's this one? It's been, for me, to be honest, one of the most busiest weekends. Yes, at Easter's busy. I've got Sarah Love joining us. Hey, Sarah. Got your message, Sarah. No problem. I haven't had time to reply, but she'll know what I'm talking about there. We'll be back in touch with you soon. Yeah, lots of comments. Right. As George Norman said, they've been busy. Cost of living crisis? Surely not. We should all be quiet. Are we quiet? Well, that's going to be our first topic. Cost of living crisis. Does it exist, or is it just a figment of our imagination? So tell me, this is it. Cost of living crisis. All of you watching, is it having an impact on your salon business, or is it just not as bad as we thought, or is it going to get worse? So, George, you're never short of an opinion.
Do you know what? It isn't. It isn't affecting me now. It hasn't affected me, and even like I said, my team just got a lot smaller by two people. But I'm pretty confident if those two people were still with me, that it still wouldn't affect me. I'm still really busy. Has it affected me in the way in which my electric's gone up? Product cost has gone up, yes, but has it affected me in terms of clients not seeing me or not being as busy? No, it hasn't. And I'm very fortunate and I'm very, very thankful that in this period of time that I'm actually fighting people away and saying, look, I can't get you in for 6 weeks, can't get you in for 8 weeks.
That's
So I'm,
incredible,
I'm
isn't
very
it?
I'm
Because
very lucky.
we were hearing so many worries, Norman. I know, obviously, you work at not another salon, so you're not running the business. But are you seeing? You just said there straight away. You've never been busier. So no
Yeah,
sort
I
of
think
signs that people are holding back on costs, or they're quite happy to be spending on these colours and luxuries in their life.
Yeah, I mean, it is certainly a luxury, hey, getting your hair done. I think that was such a beautiful perspective that you had, George, as well, just then about like how amazing is it that you can say to someone, "Oh, I can't fit you in for 6 weeks." Like
Yeah,
it
very
feels
amazing.
it's very blessed to be in this opportunity that we are in right now. However, um, it is really fucking expensive out there, right? Food. I
Mm.
can't believe how much bloody blueberries cost. I was in Tesco earlier, I couldn't keep a gob off the floor. Um, but when it's coming to
Ketchup,
my
4.99 a bottle. My kids have ketchup with
oh,
everything, and I'm like rationing my children's ketchup. Oh my god.
1 teaspoon. Yeah, it's just like when it comes down to my clients in particular, um, I'm just really open and honest about budgeting. How do you want to do this? Like, what's your budget for your hair? Are you happy with how the plan is going with your hair? So that will come away. I like to book my clients in throughout the year. So I will book all of their appointments in until Christmas now. So what I think is a really helpful tip is booking them in advance so that they can at least have the price expectation in their head, and that way you've got the security of the bookings as well.
Yeah, and something I did do, and this was before the cost of living crisis did hit, was like I think our salons are quite similar in being sort of all inclusive on every level. So we did some express services, express treatments that basically meant, like a lot of people come to my salon for a big colour transformation. Therefore, every bill that's hitting
Yeah.
is sort of 200 quid and above in the north. So we came up with little services that you could do for express services that might be right. Come in, get a money piece and a toner and a blow dry with a junior, and it's 80 quid. So just little things that made it not only more accessible to people that were having big colour transformations, but perhaps people that weren't able to afford our price bracket. All of a sudden, there's a service there that's available to them. And that's something that I did well before the cost of living. But another thing which is crazy as well, as a salon owner, I never used to get tips. In the past 6 months, my tips have been mental, and I can't quite fathom it. I
Nice.
can't believe it. Like, yeah, I don't
Just
know where
going
they
a bit
come.
off
I
off
don't know.
piece then with from cost of living, but you just mentioned it about tips there, George, because there's now a lot of these tipping card machines, isn't there? Is that the right
Mm,
word? So, has
I
anybody actually had
love
an
my tipping
experience of
card
using
machine.
these? Used them at all,
no.
Norman?
So our card, yeah, I love my tipping card machine.
Yeah,
We
so
have
you
a
have
very good
one.
relationship. Yeah, so at the end of the service, it, we changed our like PDQ machine. How it used to be was you could just add in a cash tip of how much ever you wanted to, and then now it's like a percentage of the total bill, and then it has little prompts as well. So it says like 25%, nice job, 50%, amazing. Um, yeah, I love it, and then it gets into our wages at the end of the month. But I do think you get taxed on them, yeah, which is a shame, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's just have a look here. So what we got, Safi. I feel some of the clients are holding out their appointments, but they are spending more when they come because leaving it longer. Yeah, I think that's noticing that again. Is that something that you notice? People holding out appointments?
No.
No. Oh.
Um,
I feel almost
I
guilty
think
saying that. I feel
No, this is
almost guilty
good. This
saying
is
that,
why I
you know.
wanted to do it. So, have we gone over the top with how bad this was going to be? Scaremongering
No,
no, I
stories.
think this
I
is
definitely think
just
there is a cost of living crisis. I definitely
So
do think there is a cost of
why are
living
we
crisis.
not seeing that? So I'm just reading down here. Everybody seems to be really busy. Colette, um, got
Is
my
it not? Is
my
it
good
not
mate in here.
dependent?
This is Lee Walton, by the way, but he's one of my good friends, my ex football coach. So yeah, we'll always get comments coming in here from you, Lee. I know. Right, Colette, what we got here? Salons in general are reporting costs of living is hitting them. Let's stretch that out a bit, with clients stretching appointments out, which is being discussed with government by the Hair and Barber Council. Okay,
And
yeah.
I think also, is it not dependent upon who you? So the cost of living crisis will affect different brackets of people differently, will it not? So I suppose it depends on who you are as a business marketing to, as to who's going to spend the money and who it's affecting, right? Do you know what I
What
mean by that?
about
So if
the
you're going to charge over 150 quid for a colour, is that going to be affecting that price bracket of people as much as it would be if you were charging £80 for a cut and colour? Because it's dependent on what that person's earning and what they're doing and how they are living their life and how that cost of living crisis is affecting them effectively.
no, again, I keep flagging up Colette's. Colette would be great to come and sit in the seat one day. I'm sure would be great to have you on the hair show. Colette, depends on clients' demographics. I get that, but George is. It wouldn't be fair to. I mean, what sort of area is it? Quite around you as an area, George, outside of London. Are you affected?
It's
Do
a
you see?
complete shithole. It's a complete shithole. So if it wasn't for social
Well, I
media and it
know that
wasn't for
because you
good
told me that. That's why I asked you. So I
yeah.
wasn't general, but I know you've said to me sometimes it is.
If it wasn't for like good social media and good marketing, luckily our clients range from all over the UK, not just Rotherham. If it was from Rotherham solely, then we'd be in big trouble,
Mm.
I think.
And I guess Norman, your clients are more well heeled. Would it be fair to say?
Um, I think I think it just comes down to the individual and how much they are willing to spend on their hair. You know, I have clients with, I imagine, all different incomes, every kind of different client. I think though, like when it's maybe the reason why it is staying busy for me and George is because we've done our clients for years, and it's just that relationship that we built up for years. So that's why they are continuing to come and see us, as opposed to someone who finds that because of the cost of living, they're not seeing so many clients. Do you think
And
that, George, it's
also,
our
but
regulars?
yeah, no, I agree with that. But I think we're also selling more than just hair. Everybody around you, every business around you is selling hair. We're selling a feeling, like we're selling something more than hair. It's a vibe,
Yeah.
like you're selling a vibe. So I think that makes a huge difference as to how many people come and sit
Hmm.
in your chair because you're selling like be part of you're selling an ethos, aren't you? You're selling a brand, like a vibe. So it's more than just like a full head of highlights.
Moved. Sarah's just said I moved areas 2 hours away, and obviously education is great, but new clients in new area have been tricky. But I'm marketed to higher end. Coming away from clients, you are educators, a pair of you. You do a lot of educating. And it is going to be part of our conversation about educators. Are you finding that actually people in the hair industry are pulling back from spending money on their education?
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, I know, Norman. I think you're sold out, aren't you, on your courses? I've not really done much this year, but I did do Fancy a Shag last year. And they were academies on shag, shullets, and mullets. And, we sold out no problem. And I've kind of, because I feel like the education market is overly saturated, I've been a little bit bored as to what's being put out there and what's what people are advertising. So I've really got to think long and hard about what I want to bring this year because I definitely, as an educator, want to make sure what I do bring this year or early next year is very valuable.
I'm going to just pull you in on that
Hmm.
comment there. I know we're on costly, but sometimes I hear things in my ear there. You just said you've been bored of what you're seeing out there. What are you meaning there,
Mm.
George?
Oh, I just think everyone in the mother's an educator, and I just think
Okay,
that
well,
I
we'll
just
come on to part of our conversation
well,
later.
there
Do
you
you
Hold
go.
agree
that
with
thought.
Well,
George? Let's just go through some of the comments here before we're going to move on into our next topic. I think it's hit. I think it hit, but only just started. It takes a while to bite. Yeah, because obviously the gas energy. That I don't think we're getting that support now, are we, from the government? And these things are going to change. The fixed rate mortgages, all that kind of stuff. Are they going to have an impact? Is it still early days? At least it's getting warmer, apparently. As a salon owner, I've never worked as hard the last few years. Marketing my salon is so important to keep new clients coming in for staff. Fortunately, I can't see your name, but if
absolutely.
you do see that link being shared to Georgia, go and click on that, and then we can flag up your name if you're watching in the group. Hey, Mandy. As always, it is the lower earners that take the bite. It is, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as an industry, we are sort of saying we've got to increase our prices. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
uh,
not increased my prices yet, and I don't really feel the need to. I'll probably increase them later on this
you
year.
don't?
I feel no, just because I feel like, do you know what? We've all got enough shit on, haven't we? Like it's shit every day going to the supermarket, spending 60 quid on 2 bags of food shopping. Like, I'll increase my prices a little bit later. I'll do it when everyone
Fair
else
enough.
isn't doing it.
Look, it's still got comments here.
Yeah.
Again, if I don't get to your comments, we'll come through them all after a while. I love how you put stuff, George. It's beautiful. I put my price up
Thanks.
last week again, and clients still round the price up for a tip. Yeah, so tips, as George says, some of our tips are very generous. What's the going rate for a tip?
20 quid.
20 quid.
Ooh, that's nice.
Beefy.
Is that actually what you'll be? About
Yeah.
20 quid a tip?
Usually it's about 10, 20 quid.
Okay. Norman, can I ask on
Mine
you,
is,
on your tipping machine?
yeah. So mine is different because it's from the percentage off the total bill. So my tips come into my wages. So I don't know how much the average tip is, but sometimes it's like an extra 700 quid, which is nice.
You know what I mean? Again,
Yeah.
these are things that we need sharing out there if we want to attract people into the industry. You know, when we talk about, right, that is healthy, isn't it? That is healthy income.
Yeah, and this Christmas
Yeah.
as well, like the Christmas before last, right? Like I said, nobody ever, like, there's clients that'll buy bottles of wine or whatever. We have a Christmas tree and we put everything under, and then we tend to share it with everybody at the end, right? That's what we do. But like this Christmas gone, I don't know. Everyone was just fetching me presents, and I just couldn't quite believe it. And I didn't know whether it was because of the cost of
Oh.
living or COVID. And I was just so very thankful. It was lovely.
These are great. Honestly, great comments, everybody. Thank you so much. Keep them coming in. If there's anything that you would like us to cover, we may do a quick roundup and bring it in there somewhere. But I agree with Georgia about too many educators out there. You're going to love the conversation coming up shortly then. Yes, obviously, I'm picking up 20 seconds delay. I'm a little bit behind on the comments. That's a link. If you want to just get your name up on the screen, just click on that link. Takes seconds. So, yeah, we can see who this is if you do that. Completely agree, Georgia. Never stylist here, and there's just too many educators. That is definitely going to be coming up. So we might get to this. Heather, what's Heather saying here? Hey, Heather. In any recession, people are still willing to spend, but what's more important is the value for money. So the experience is going to be high on the list. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Just in on the tips, £5 to £10 tips for me usually. Per person, I'm guessing this. We're not talking a day here. We're talking per person, aren't we? And
Yeah.
hey, great stuff. Yeah, good.
You
to
know what I
hear.
would say about the tips is like I think it is good if you can have the option to get the percentages on the tips on the card machine if you are happy to have it in your wages rather than like a cash tip. It's just I think that really works for us because it's like kind of prompting the client
Yeah,
depending on
Safi
how
again
much they want
here.
to give.
It's a supplier's cost not affecting you, Georgia Bell, with the prices going up if you're not increasing. Good question, Safi.
Um, No, not really, because I work with a lot of companies, so I get a lot of great deals out there. So I suppose if I didn't work with a lot of companies, I wouldn't get such good deals. So maybe it would affect me more.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, we're going to move on to the next topic, but let's just finish it on this one. I think it's nice to leave it on a bit of a high here. We are not in recession, and that's official. Inflation expected to decline end of the year. That's good news.
Yay!
Good news, Colette. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next topic. Let's have a look at it. Thank you. Keep the comments coming in. Loving this. Okay, here we are. Hair awards. Is entering hair awards right for you? All right, have a think about that. Do you enter hair awards watching? Let us know in the comments. Do you enter hair awards, Georgia Bell?
Yes, I have entered some hair awards. I have won some hair awards. I have lost many. But yes, I have entered some. And I do think, yes, it depends on the reasons in which you're entering for. For me, the things that have always done really well for my business are Google reviews, the fact that we are an award-winning salon, and I think it does fare very well for the clients that are looking and researching your business for you to have that award-winning title or something like that. I think it does do well. So I've always entered them not necessarily for myself, but more for the clients, trying to get more bums on seats.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, what about you, Norman?
Yeah, I've had my fair share of awards. I remember when I entered L'Oreal Colour Trophy when I was 21, and I was so gutted that I didn't get through to the final. And I think just a piece of advice for anyone who is entering awards, I'm actually kind of grateful that I didn't win it because it just set me up for every other one that I haven't won, and the disappointment wasn't half as intense. But yeah, I've entered a fair few. Some of them are so time consuming and really, really take a lot of effort, like the big ones. But they
Yeah,
I for me, I love
yeah.
the parties there as well.
Does how much of an impact does it have on you as a hairstylist, you Georgia Bell, for your business in actually bums on seats, winning what could be a major British award or
Well, I
maybe a
mean, you might.
local award? Do you think clients realise that difference of award titles, or does a client just think, oh, they've won an award, they're great?
Listen, Barbara don't care whether it's BHA or Salon Awards. She don't
We
care.
love that, but
All,
Barbara
all
might
she's
care.
seen, all she's seen is award winner, right? And that's made Barbara come in and she'll sit down and she'll say, "Oh, love it. See that you won an award." Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
she doesn't know how prestigious it is, but it is. There are certain awards in my life that I have won. Take the Lions Barber Collective for the autism work that I've done and that I've done for the past several years. And that Pride Award that I won was extremely special to me because I
Yeah,
put a hell of a lot of effort into that. And it's not about me looking good as a hairdresser or me looking good as a colorist. It's about helping my community, genuinely helping people and children with autism. And that meant a lot. So something like
yeah.
that is very
Big
important
up.
to me.
Yeah, I
beautiful,
had the
babe.
pleasure. Yeah,
You know,
the Lions Barber. I think that's just gone again this year, hasn't it? It's fantastic
yeah,
what Tom's doing there. That awards really is powerful. I think what they were saying. Sorry, Norman, you were just
it
going to say
means
there.
something.
No, I wasn't saying anything actually, but I was just active listening.
You're right.
But I was going to say a bit of advice for anyone who was going to enter some awards is, or maybe some, like, I think when you have no experience entering awards, they're so daunting. But just have a look into them and see which one you kind of vibe with, and see which one you feel like the most connected to. Some awards like require a huge portfolio. Like I entered one last year, and it was a 20-page portfolio, and it almost killed me writing that, and sending it off to the graphic designer and this whole process. And also, I
What
think
about?
what I would love to discuss is how much money it can cost you to enter these
100%.
awards.
Mm,
And one thing I'd
okay.
like to mention as well is no matter what award you win, even if you lose, like I said, I've won some, I've lost many. Norman, you'll be in the same boat. You've lost a few, you've won a few. No matter what happens, always stay humble at any sort of competition, because I remember entering one for a Vidal Sassoon scholarship, and the judges said I was overqualified for that place, even though I'd put a lot of money and a lot of effort into my entry. But through that, I met Martin Warburton from Denman, and I got to be the first female UK ambassador for Denman Airbrush. So it's important that you always stay humble
Mm.
and you always are professional, because you never know what opportunities can come from positions that you don't get.
Mm. I'm just
Hmm.
going to pick up something here from Ryan. He said there's some wars out there at the moment that I've noticed that you've got to pay to be nominated, which I personally think is wrong.
And those are the awards that you stay away from, because they're all
Yeah,
they're
I was
all
going
a
to say,
scam.
because there are lots of money making schemes now on this, isn't there? And look, there are some genuine amazing awards, British Hairdressing Awards, Creative Hair, great awards. But there are lots of various brands now putting awards out there. Uh, how legitimate are some of these? Who's judging it? Who's deciding on these winners? And you're putting money in there. And to be fair, I'm not. Look, I think anybody that puts their work forward is amazing. But it does seem sometimes there is certain awards where I'm looking, I'm thinking, are these really the best that we're seeing?
I think the more you get into the industry stuff, and the more awards or things that you enter, or more that you put yourself forward for things, the more that you learn what's valuable and what's not valuable.
Hmm.
And
Let me
there's
just pick
definitely
up.
certain awards that I would enter now, and certain awards that I just would stay clear from.
Yeah. Let me just go through some of the comments just coming in here. Again, Facebook users, if you want to go on that eCam, then we can see who it is. It's a great thing to do. I just want the experience for yourself and have something great to work towards. I think that's a really great comment. I think entering awards, no matter how big or small, are just great, aren't they? They get us away maybe from our
Yeah.
everyday styling chairs. So I don't think they're a bad thing in any shape or form. I think every award is really good. And if it helps us test us creatively, that's got to be a positive thing. How are you, Justin? Good to see you along, Justin. I actually use the more local awards for marketing purpose more than anything else to get my name out there in the city, to get more bums on seats. That's really powerful. I think they said the what's it called? Is it the local salon awards?
Well, I was just actually going to say, if you're clever about it, no matter what award you take place in and what award you win, if you contact your local papers, you contact your local magazines, you contact your local radio station, they'll give you a shout out and they'll say that you've won this or you've won that. There's plenty of times that I've contacted my local newspaper and they've done an article for me. So if you're clever with it, you really can utilise it to get more bums on your seats.
Yeah, but Sarah's just put here, respected educator. I wouldn't know where to start with awards. Freaks me out. So so when you're entering, let's just say the British Business Awards, and I know some of you in the audience have entered that. I think Colette, you've had success there. Do you put these together yourself? So Norman, you talked about this, whole document pages. I'm guessing
Yeah.
you're talking maybe for the British Business Hairdressing Awards, Creative Head. I think that they tend to have a very intense process. Do you get a PR on board to help with that process?
So they actually changed the whole the requirements for the entries this year, but when I done it last year, it was a 20-page portfolio, maximum 20 pages, and or an additional 4-minute video. So I actually had one of my friend's sisters do the graphic designing for me, and it was amazing. I was so pleased, and it wasn't cheap. And I had a videographer come and do the video for me as well. So if you really want to, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, because there's just no point in putting in a half-assed entry. You really have to put your all into it if you want to win it.
I have actually I've judged on the British Business Awards, and a few times, been a great honour and some of the standard. But when I listen to the judges, I always think they say we can almost go too heavy with stuff. Sometimes the judges have only got so much time to go through documents, so I think it's making it impactful, but appreciating that, going through a whole entry can be very time consuming. So I always think, don't overcomplicate it.
No.
Get to the point and make it look great. And that's certainly for anything that's in sort of written form or through PR. And it's great to have PRs who do this and maybe can just look over your entry. But it all takes money. And coming down here. Yeah, go on, Norman.
I was thinking as well, when I didn't win an award, you can always ask for feedback as well. So in Creative Head, they will ask you if you want to see the feedback, and that way you can get some constructive feedback for your entry for the time after.
I'll tell you one thing about awards nights. A lot of them, they're fantastic night out. They are really good.
Yeah,
they're well worth getting.
They are.
Just seeing this from Donna. So I'm just keeping one eye on the comments coming in. Thank you, everybody. Keep the comments coming in. It's brilliant. There's so much that I'm missing, unfortunately, but I'm going to try and come back to as many as I can at some point. Let me bring that up again. Sorry, I'm talking away. I entered one for the first time this year, and I got conned. You paid to get further on. You see, that's the bum side of competition. I think when you're paying and I think you've got to ask, I understand it costs money to put these awards on, but, if they haven't got the sponsorship, they're going to have to find ways to monetize that. And maybe
an awards messages you on email and says something like, "Congratulations, you've got through to the final." How do you know I've got through to the final, mate? Like, you don't know who I am or my business or what. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Well, I actually got something, taking into account I only do one day of hair, and I actually got a letter through on our local awards, the local business, that we're being nominated. It's a load of tosh. I hadn't been nominated. They just send it out to every business.
Yeah, I got one as well. I got one of those.
It's, and these are the things, fine, but let's be a little bit more transparent about this sort of stuff. I think that's all I would say is, because that's then, if we're doing this, then we're misleading clients, aren't we? If you are effectively being fraudulent to clients, because you could be entering an award that maybe you're the only one or two that's you're entering. And I just think we've got to be careful. And there's big money in awards. Sitting down at a table with a dinner, and you've got to book a table of 12 at however much.
£1,000.
It costs a lot of money on there. So, well, I think, thank you for that, Donna. That's a great comment, just to read that. Just in Colette, she does full submission, so it's from the heart. I think that's really in truth.
Yeah, me
let's
too.
have a
I
look.
do it all myself.
Top PR tips: read the question properly. Make sure you give all the evidence asked for. Do bullet points if writing isn't your strong point. Great comment. I don't know who that is, but I'm guessing that's a PR. Maybe you can just do that link, Ecam, so I know who you are. But great points there. What else? Hey, Becky, good to see you here, Becky. I'm getting nominated, even though I closed a year ago.
Wow!
Congratulations.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just the crazy part of it all, isn't it? Yeah. Good stuff. I think awards. What would your final thought be on, or final say be on awards, Norman?
Don't beat yourself up if you don't win, because there's a lot of other people who don't win that night also, and it's really no reflection on who you are. And at the end of the day, it's just someone else's opinion on your work, so it doesn't really define who you are as an artist either. Get yourself back out there and do it again if you want to do it. It's a big world, these awards, and it is really, really amazing being a part of it. And especially if you can get through to like a semi-final or a final, it's such an incredible night to be a part of and actually see your name there as well. So reach for the stars, kids.
George?
You got this.
Yeah, just just make sure you're doing it for all the right reasons. Make sure you're doing it not just to massage your own ego. Make sure you're doing it for you. Make sure you're doing it for your business, and whatever your reasons are. Actually, if it is for your ego, fuck it. Like, if that's what you want, then go for it. But just make sure you're doing it for you.
I will say a lot of awards, by the way, are very photographic, which is fine. But we live in a very video world now, and I know when I hosted Quiff Centre Stage, which Tony invited me to do, and I loved the power of that. That actually getting on stage and showcasing your work. I don't think there's anything better. And they used to do it, didn't they? Back in the old days, in the old 50s, and it was all the competition floor. But, if we could put a spin on that, and actually, a much more affordable way for everybody to enter, but it really showcases how good you are. I know L'Oreal Colour Trophy and the Weller Trend Vision kind of work on that format a little bit, but is there a place for this where we see the competition floor become more of the judging process, and we can see the real talent? What do you reckon?
Fabulous. Yeah, I like that. Bring back Black.
I loved do it.
Yeah, let's do.
I love.
They used to do it with our college competitions, but look, great. Sorry, I'm missing out on the comments again. Let me come down. You get the well. Thank you very much, Colette. Yes. Okay. Right. Good. Okay. We're now going to move on to the next subject. This is one I think a lot of you are not going to want to leave. I think you might all have a few opinions on this because you already gave a few clues to that. So let's go to our next topic of the night.
Back. Sorry, I just was doing a sneaky yawn and I didn't want you to see.
You had a session, didn't you, this weekend? Was it be fair to say, Norman?
Maybe. I'm back onto it now.
Okay, so hair educator. Yeah, we're saturated with educators. It's fair to say. Norma, I'm going to let you take a lead on this because it's actually one that you wanted to put out there that, what makes a good educator? Fire us away. Come on, take us away on this one.
Yeah, sure. I think, to be honest, the reason why I wanted to bring up this conversation is I want to hear in the comments what you all think, what makes a good and a not so good hair educator. But to be a good hairdresser is one thing, and then to deliver information and actually educate and inspire people is a totally different job, you know. And I have done two courses that I could not recommend enough for anyone who's looking to go into education. It's a guy called Chris Moody. Do you know Chris, guys?
I've
He
done
is a
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. He's
teacher, and
phenomenal.
I done his class trainer twice, and it's brutal. Like you have to go on camera and watch yourself back, and you just really have to analyze everything that you're doing. But yeah, what makes a good educator? What doesn't make a good educator? For me, I think one tip that I would love to give someone who's looking or doing education or teaching classes is just don't read everything out, don't give it all away. Let people do a bit of work to kind of get the answers, like if you're just standing there delivering information, it's hella boring and it's not going to actually retain the information, so you've got to keep it interactive.
Very
I
good.
love it. I love teaching. It's my favorite.
Yeah. What about you, George? What do you feel, are the important qualities of a good hair educator?
Well, I think for me, and from speaking to a lot of people that I have educated in the past, and it's almost like the trade shows and stuff. It's almost like the educator or the person that's doing the show is almost put on a platform, and it's like away from the person that's learning. So I think it's about being equal, and I think it's about being relatable, and I think it's about being honest, and I think it's
Mm,
about really getting on a level with who you are teaching. And it's not about I'm Georgia Bell and I'm going to show you this amazing balayage or this amazing bright colour, and what I'm going to do is going to be absolutely fucking amazing. It's about, well, this is what I do. Let's see what you can do, and let's bring the best out of the student. And I think that's the most important thing,
yeah.
is to make the student believe that they can, and it's all about the student. It's not about us as educators. We're just giving a helping hand, a little step up.
Why have we seen so many people moving into the world of hair education?
Social media. Has social media made that more
Uh,
accessible? You know?
I was going to say because there's a bit of money in education, like when you can sell a lot of tickets to something. So
Yeah, sure.
maybe there's a big rise on it is because people think they can get a quick buck.
Or maybe I'm a little bit old school me, so I feel like it's like anything. It's like when you learn to do anything, I feel like there should be a level of, this is what you've got to do to earn your stripes to then go and teach that. But then obviously
Hmm.
what happened, especially I feel with COVID as well, and there's nothing wrong with this. If people feel like they've got something to give and something to teach, then that's great. But surely there should be some form of regulation and some sort of stripes that you should earn before you then go out and announce yourself to the world as an educator. Because
Mm.
what makes you different from any other educator, perhaps if we were to able to get courses accredited, so you could give out some form of accredited certificate, or I'm not quite sure. Like I said to you earlier, I feel like there's a huge influx of people that just decided to take charge on the internet and say, whoa, I'm an educator.
Because it's quite easy to put it in your bio, isn't it? And it's
Hmm.
relatively cost effective to set up maybe a group or this is not aimed at anybody. There's amazing educators, independent educators who I think are brilliant but it's easy to set up, isn't it now? The entry level isn't hard to get into being
Hmm.
a educator.
And who do you choose from? I mean, I suppose
I
that's
don't
that's
know.
just
I don't know.
completely
Maybe we
that's
ne-
completely down to your audience, isn't it? But
maybe we
with
need an
so many
awards for the
educators,
Educator of the Year awards.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to pay
everyone
to
is
be in
free
it.
to choose whatever they want, and it's great that there is an amount of variety and so many educators out there. But you know, how do
I don't know.
people make that decision that this is the right educator for me? This is in fact an actual educator.
come on, you lot watching. What educators do you really love? I know you all love Chris for his teaching. I've had the pleasure to bring Chris onto the podcast some time back, and yeah, he's a lovely fella as well. But which educators really excite you out there? And I've got to bring this one back up here from Ryan, because I get it. And Ryan said, I feel like everyone and their nan is an educator at the moment. Everyone's teaching balayage and lived in hair. I need something to excite me. What excites you then, Ryan? I mean, you know, what are you looking for? What do we need? I saw Jordana and what's the girl's name? I can't remember her name. They were doing the mullets and haircuts, and they all look quite exciting right now, don't they? And
yeah, it was little Lulu Richards, wasn't it? I think
that's
doing
it. Thank you.
Jordana. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I know you do that as well, don't you, George? Do you have to find a niche like with you, Norman? That we've got Ruth here. Who, hey Ruth, how you doing? Hi Norman. Hey Norman. They say the teacher
Ruth.
always learns the most. What did you learn from your group that you work with on your first independent course? Great question, this, at Not Another Salon a few weeks ago. Great question.
Oh, Ruth, I love you. Ruth is like Not Another's biggest fan. She's always at our events and we're always cuddling each other for hours. What did I learn from my first independent course? So last Monday, it was my first class at Not Another Salon for the first course that I actually have wrote on my own, and it was amazing. It was so smooth. I literally performed it in my bedroom a million times, so it was just time to bring it to life. What did I learn from everyone? Oh, geez. You've got to stick to timings because people have got trains booked, and you've got to work that out in the morning. I thought that was a really valuable point in the morning, just working that out, and I thought, oh God, I want to do that next time. What else did I learn as well? Putting some post-its on people's chairs. I thought this was a good point, that if people don't necessarily want to shout out a question or they want to ask something for later, they could put a post-it on the chairs. I thought that was a good point. They really liked that. I learned so many things from all of my students. Mainly it's just colour combos that I would never have thought of in a million years. They just put the most random colours together and it just works. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to steal that one.
I love Ryan. Ryan, you're not short of shining with your opinion. I love it. I think it's great. I love the no bullshit educators. Don't sugarcoat it. Just say it how it is. Also love when people don't focus their education on one brand of colour to try to get you to buy their products. Yeah, I guess so. I can understand why brands are working with, we're all learning around it, I guess, and everybody will have a different take on it. I'm guessing this is why then people going into being education, because they can't make money on the shop floor. Cool. That's sad though, isn't it?
That's a good point, Colette, actually.
Becky, how you doing, Becky? Again, because they think it's an easy way to earn more money. Do you earn more money as an educator?
I don't know. Like, it depends if you work for a brand or whether it's your actual own courses. But the courses aren't cheap to put on, I mean, obviously, I'm not paying for my own courses because it's through the salon. But, like, everyone has a doll's heads to themselves from Pivot Point. And they are 60 quid each.
Yeah, it soon adds up. Like, the outlays of, a good education session, like the academies that we, held last year, we put on lunch, we had Pivot Point dolls heads, brackets, everything else that you need to have. And, we could only see 12 students at a time. But yeah, the ticket price was around 350 quid. So yeah, you do make your money. You've got a big outlay. I think sometimes it can be, I think it's more emotionally rewarding teaching other hairdressers sometimes what than it is just doing clients day in, day out, one after the other. But then, I also love it when I can change my clients' lives. When clients are having a really shit day and they come in and you do some hair and it just completely changes their mood and who they are. So I don't know. I don't know which is better.
I think it's great that we've got lots of hair educators, and people have a big following. A lot of people have huge fan bases now with social media, and they have huge fan bases because people actually like their work, and some people will be attracted to the balayage, some people will be attracted to the brand, some people for me, I think it'd be very difficult for somebody to make a full-time living as a permanent full-time hair educator, if the truth be told. I think you still have to have the two. I think you need to have the salon floor, but isn't that a great part of our career that you can have two sides of the industry? And if somebody wants to have a go at it, then I think that's a really good thing. I don't think there's a wrong thing for it. But, you know, you want to make sure that you're coming away with something. And Emma come up with this comment here. How many people have gone on courses and come away thinking, what the did I just learn? Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important, really important point, Emma. Can I just say that? Because I've been on some, and this is what goes down to my original point earlier about an educator is not there to be the singing, dancing star of the show. An educator is there to bring the student's best potential out of them. And many times have I been on courses and I've done education and I've walked away and I've thought, what the fuck is that section? What have I just learned? Like, it's just an educator massaging their own ego. So I think that's why it's really important that we strip it down and we are relatable and people are able to come and speak to us and you know, represent education on a level that's completely equal to the student.
I'm going to have to speed up with the comments here because I'm so far behind because I can see where you're asking the questions. So I apologise on that. But let's have a quick one before we move on to the final topic. Yeah, crew. Oh, where are we? Gosh, I've gone. Right, let's have this pick up from here. There's a hell of a lot of amazing hairdressers who are great at showing what they do and believe that is educating. And Heather's a great educator herself. Ruth, every Tom, Dick and Harry seem to be an educator since lockdown. I think lockdown did create that, didn't it? I think there was, it gave people time. I guess this is when I asked people which educators you loved. Emma Fowler's come up here. We've got Sarah Love is there. We've got Rachel Lomax is there. Yeah, it's about quality and standard plus accreditation being valid as too many going today or even online classes than they're a hairdresser. Also, are we getting educated by people that maybe are not even being educated themselves? Are we seeing that on YouTube?
I was just thinking that.
You know, that's now, you know, I'm seeing people coming into the industry now. That's another subject. Are people just training off YouTube and actually have no accreditation and coming in for start jobs in salons or going self-employed and they have no accreditation? What client ever asks you for your accreditation?
Never.
Isn't that scary? I actually know of somebody that has been on a course. I won't go too much because I might know who I'm talking about. So I think that's a topic.
Spill the beans, honey.
You're teasing again.
I do it all the time. Ruth went to this. Giordano and Lulu was great in person. I think they've done it down in Cornwall. Donna, Heather Robinson, Patrick Cameron, Cherie Thompson, my faves, all down to earth. Yeah, I think that's a big thing as well, isn't it? It's not just about the technical skills of people. It's the likability, Norman and Georgia. I guess that's why you both do extremely well. Hey Lee, you've just got in. Anyone can teach how to paint a balayage and do a root melt. It's so much more than a following for pretty hair. Yes. Julie, this could be a long one. Might have to small this down. Boom! You've over the screen. I might not be able to read that one all through. But education isn't just the practical part things for me. Not everyone is educated on the theory part. Yeah, sorry, it's a good comment. The amount of colourists who don't understand colour is mind blowing. Educators need to teach more theory. I knew you lot are going to have some big opinions. I've had Georgia Bell into my salon and I still use her tips. I've been to not another salon and learnt loads from Norman in the bleaching course. It's amazing how many salons do not know about bleach. Well done. Safi, I like Sophia. I want to move these down. I worry that we're good. I do all her, like Sophia, I do all her online ones, but do a lot of online with Behind the Chair from Over the Pond. Yeah, so online is still incredibly popular. Sarah Spires from Becky. We love Sarah, yeah. Great comments. This is so good, honestly. You just love hanging out with you again, don't we? We were saying this, weren't we? Honestly, where else can you have this with a group of people as hairdressers to meet up and have a good old talk that you just can't talk with your friends in the pub about, can you? But when you're hanging out with hairdressers, great. So we're going to go to our final one now. Yeah, let's go to our next topic, our final one of the night. Okay, future of industry trade shows. Do they need to change? Has the excitement gone? George, I think you picked this up in a comment somewhere, didn't you? Did somebody said to you that they weren't excited by it?
Yeah, I mean, I wondered whether, are industry trade shows doing enough to get that excitement, to get that, I mean, we all talk about cost of living crisis and things change, but I remember I'm an old bird now, so I remember Salon International 15 years ago in comparison to what it is now, or not just Salon International, sorry, lots of different trade shows and how they were many years ago and how they are now. And I wondered, are trade shows doing enough to get the excitement going, or are we as industry stage stars going on stage not bringing enough excitement? That's what I wanted to because
Oh,
everything's
I
quite
disagree.
recycled, isn't it? Everything's quite recycled, and everything. A lot of people say, this has been done, that's been done, it's been over, and I general opinion really.
I think it's a very valid opinion. That's why we have it. It's what opinions are here for. We may agree, we may not agree, but I love these opinions. I'm going to just put this in there. So Salon International, I wandered around and I love going to Salon International. I wouldn't say it's because the actual expo. I think for me, it's actually just seeing people and the buzz of being in an industry event is what I actually really love. But I did see excitement. I will say, because Norman sat here, but around your stand, Norman, did you feel that excitement that when you were on stage at Salon International?
To be honest, George, I have to disagree with you because I love them. But to be honest, my
I
only
love
real
them, I love them.
experience, but the topic is, do they need to change? So I personally, I've actually only ever worked them forever. I've never actually had the experience of going to them because I've always been presenting on them. But I love it. It's like Christmas Day the night before. It's so exciting. I remember my first one I went to when I was like 15, Salon International, and I went with my college that I was at, and we took a day trip up there. And I still get super pumped about it. I think it's great to bring all the industry together, and it's just for me, I love the atmosphere. That's always my favorite part. Is just
No, I
everyone.
fully agree. I do them as well, and I almost feel like, yeah, like what you said, Dom. It's like they're getting to know everybody, they're getting to meet everybody, see each other, catch up. I love it, but I just wondered if it was as exciting as what it
And
used to
I'm
be.
going to just put this in there, and I hear what you're saying, actually, George. For me, actually, what brought me into this industry, yes, my family are hairdresser, my mum was a hairdresser, and I saw hood dryers, and it didn't overly excite me as a hairdresser. But I remember going off to Salon International 1984, and I was just blown away. I was just so taken in by all these educators that were cutting hair and amazing. It just felt really cool. Um, and I just felt like seeing this education. I loved going to Salon International, and I still love to go. And I've missed very few Salon Internationals. But what I would say now, I don't know if I feel that same buzz. Not because, obviously, well, I'm older, I've been going there a long time, but I still love seeing people do hair. But I just wonder, is it because I'm seeing so much hair online now that actually, the only time I ever got excited through going to these shows was because I was seeing hair work that, other than looking in a magazine at maybe a 10-step photo educational,
100%.
and I wonder is if that's declining when I stand and watch all these shows now. Am I learning anything new?
Well,
Or
it's like I remember getting Hairdresser's Journal, for example, at the salon where I worked. I was a Saturday. I was 13. I used to work for Gary Weldon at Wickersley. We used to get Hairdresser's Journal come through, and that was the only thing we ever saw of the industry, wasn't it? Apart from these trade show events. But now, with social media, with Instagram, with Facebook, there's hair all over the place, right?
yeah,
Does it take the
Yeah.
right,
specialness away?
yeah,
Ruth just
Ryan.
had a good comment about networking. at
Where was
the
this? Sorry,
trade show.
was this in the comments? This?
Yeah, just there's a comment that flashed up from Ruth, my angel, about it's a great opportunity to network, and it really
Hmm.
is. Like I've met some really cool people through Salon International specifically, um, that you wouldn't meet in everyday life. So it's a great opportunity to meet other hairdressers and
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
people.
What do you all like about going to a trade show? What is it excites you? Is it actually buying the products? Is it buying new tools? Do we like that
Yes.
shopping aspect? You like that, Norman?
Getting
You
y-
went yes.
getting your teeth whitened. You know, there's some always
Definitely do a
naff
bit of
teeth
that going on.
Getting a
whiteners. Yeah.
massage. Getting a
Getting a
massage.
massage, getting a new piercing, and getting teeth whitening. No, for me, if I was going, I just like walking around, window shopping,
So do you go for
catching
the
up
whole
with
3 days?
friends.
We're talking
Um,
specifically about Salon
no,
International here. Okay.
I would just go on. I'd usually be on the Sunday, and it's usually working the whole day. Um, I would love to go and just like check it out, but it's a great work opportunity that I really wouldn't want to turn up. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ruth, the
I
head
love
shake
going. I
Emily.
love having a wander. I love the networking after. I love going out for meals with companies. I love getting together with everybody, and I love going on stage as well.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
Becky agrees with you. She says, I hear what Georgia is saying. I don't think it's as exciting as it used to be, but I still love them. What about Colour World? I mean, obviously Colour World has come along and, that shook up the industry a little bit, didn't it? I mean, do we love Colour World? The vibe, the edgy, and, it's super
Yeah.
cool, isn't it? I mean, what a wicked event. What's everybody thinking to that? What's your take on this as a trade show? Is that something that you like, particularly the pair of you?
Yeah, I think
Go on,
it. I think
George.
it's no. Go on, Norman. You go first. I always take the thing. Go on.
I just let you get on with it. Color World, I love it. I think Color World seems really new, like the concept of it. It's very relaxed and it's very interactive, and there's no like big stage or platform. It's just kind of hanging out with people and asking questions. It's very unintimidating. Just bloody hot in there, isn't it?
It's
It's
changing
always really
venue this
warm.
year, isn't it? It's a
Oh,
different
It
venue.
whew,
it
it's
definitely took
toasty.
that feeling away from what I said earlier. It definitely took that feeling away of there being a stage and there's an educator here and there's somebody watching here. And it definitely brought that equal kind of vibe, which is the one thing about Colour World that I do love, that you can get up close and personal to Patrick Cameron or Desmond Murray or,
Yeah.
you guys at Not Another Salon, and you can really ask questions and, really get on in there. Again, I feel like, once you've got a good idea and you repeat and you repeat and you repeat, there's definitely some aspects of any trade show that could be shook up a little bit and made a little bit more exciting, for sure.
I like Becky. Becky keeps putting a little spanner in the works. Good stuff, Becky. Colour World isn't for me, but don't know what it was. But I wouldn't go again. That's the first one that I've really heard somebody say that. Yeah, hi Janet. Networking, live inspiration, and education. Salon Smart, is that a network? Is that yeah? I guess it's a trade show, is it? And what about
I
Pro
guess.
Hair? From the guys at Pro Hair magazine in Manchester. Is that still going? Is
I love Pro Hair. I remember going years and years ago to Pro Hair and it was great. And then it just kind
I've
of
never been.
fizzled. Yeah, it
yeah,
just kind
Pro
of
Hair was
fizzled. It was
good.
good.
Which brings me actually again, probably about another 5 minutes or so. I appreciate we're running over a little bit, but hey, why stop good conversations? Um, Are they too London centric? A lot of these trade shows that should we see more? I think there's one in Birmingham as well. I'm sure it's called. Is it called the Hair? I don't know what it's called. Anyway, think Hair. I don't know. Is it a cost of going to a trade show? So if you're going to Colour World now, I don't think you get much change out of £70 now for a ticket. And by the
No.
time you got your travel and hotel, cost of living crisis, is that something that puts you off maybe going? Is there something that maybe you would all like to see? Is there something different? What could excite you as a trade show? I think the big thing that comes through from everybody is the networking. It's actually just seeing people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colette, need to be across the UK. Yeah, we do.
I think
I'll
it
tell you
would be
which is one
good.
to
I
go
think the
to, Cosmoprof, Italy.
Italy.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah,
go
I've
to that
always
one
wanted to go
actually.
to Cosmoprof. It looks massive.
I need one in Wales. I live in the middle of nowhere, and my nearest motorway is 1.5 hours away. Wow, takes me forever and a day to get anywhere. I think exactly what you're saying, Ryan. We should be speaking to people like you. You know,
Yeah, I
do,
think it
do
is location dependent as well, because if you have them in London all the time, and I'm not saying that this is fair or unfair, but the likelihood of the people that are going to be showcasing at these London events are London hairdressers. So if
Yeah.
we had more in the north, you could take some of the northern educators and really let the north take over a northern quarter, and
but
then
it's that we used to do when we were doing Hair Club Live, and we used to do a tour around the UK, and it was absolutely fantastic. We'd go to Manchester, Liverpool, Cardiff, down to Cornwall, Scotland. I think it is really important that we do that. I know somebody mentioned about Medusa. Love Colin, great guy. But London is the easiest place for everyone in the country to get to, no matter where you are based. You'll have a link to London. I think people enjoy maybe a visit to London. Is that half the buzz? Just going to London?
I like London.
It's fabulous city. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to go to Italy. Let's have Lorenzo Coliangio. Sorry if I said that wrong, I'm saying it quickly. Most relevance would be great. Most trade shows and exhibitors create things you will hardly ever get the chance to perform in salon. Great comment.
That's a really good point, actually.
Inspiration
That
is
is a really
great,
good
but
point.
Yeah.
sometimes not relevant. But isn't that a lot of education anyway? Isn't that a lot of stuff that we see is not relevant? It's a bit like what Ryan said earlier. It's about getting that excitement, isn't it? We see a lot of the commercial side, which is...
It's the wow factor, isn't it? And you ain't going to get a wow factor from
But it's
a
nice
money
to get that
piece.
wow factor, Norman, George, for
Yeah,
maybe
that's what I'm
entering
saying.
awards
That's what.
or competitions. That's where you could maybe take the wow and the stuff that's a bit out of the ordinary into that
100%,
environment.
yeah.
You know,
Or
I think,
depending on how you brand your business. I mean, look at Not Another Salon and look at what my salon does. We do bright colours day in, day out, which to a lot of salons would be not the norm. But
yeah.
depending on how you brand and market yourself, you can actually do whatever the fuck you want in your chair, can't you?
Oh, I love this. I travelled from Melbourne to feel the vibe. Oh, who's
Ah,
that? I wish I could see your name.
That's cool.
Yep,
That's a long
charity
way.
ball. Who's going to the hairdressers charity ball? Yeah, that's coming up. There's some great events out there, but it's been a good night, hasn't it? Again,
it has.
Yeah. You too. Love
so
you.
cool to be hanging out with everybody. Maybe George, Norman, Ryan, I'll call you Ryan. You could just go in the comments if there's anything that we've actually missed through anything of it. But are you all enjoying the show and being back 2 weeks? Is this what you like? I think we feel that this is what you like. It's good. Mighty good. Just talking.
Yeah, I've loved it. It's been great again, guys, actually. Let us know how you've liked the conversation. Let us know what you want to bring up in the next 2 weeks. Is there a topic that is on your mind that you want us to talk out on the hair show? Then slide into our DMs and we'll tackle it.
We'll make it work,
Absolutely.
okay?
Thank you, Janet. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. But it is your show. I mean, I keep saying it, it's your voice that makes the show. And it actually is. We're just here facilitating it and bringing in your comments. It's the engagement that's so powerful about this. We were saying about views. Views don't really matter for us. It's just about seeing what have we got. 233 comments coming in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
you don't get that in any other live. I can tell you that right now.
We're like a
So
trade
this is
show.
good, and we are here for every. What's that? Right? Did you
Can we
say?
make it more exciting?
And they were like, do you know what? We should make the hair show. We should do a trade show.
There's lots going on in this very dense brain of mine. I can tell you right now, Norman. Lots of it. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Well, look, thank you everybody for tuning in. So we're going to be here 2 weeks' time. We will be, because we're going to be every 2 weeks, we're going to be swapping around. You may see different faces coming in, but the core of our team is obviously moi. And obviously Rihanna's still very much part of the show as well. Rihanna's just been away having a lovely time. So we're 2 weeks. I don't think you could join us for that next one, can you, Norman? Am I right in saying 2 weeks? We did put the dates out, whatever date that is.
I will have to check my hair show schedule and get back to you, folks.
And if any of you,
I'm there,
in the
baby.
future,
I'm there.
yeah, all get in touch and be part of it. And look, thank you so much. Connect with Norman, George. You don't need us to tell you. All know where they are on Instagram, I guess. What do you want to leave your final words to everybody tonight, George? First up,
I can't wait for my tea.
what you got for tea?
Oh, it's a chicken dish, actually. So, yeah. But no, thank you. Love you and leave you. It's been a fantastic show again. And like I said, guys, if you've got anything that you want to bring up, any topics that you think are a little bit controversial or that need talking about, then let us be the voice of, your subjects, and let us bring it out there to everybody.
That's superb.
Oh,
Norman?
beautiful. I just want to say thank you so much for having me again. It's just like the biggest honour ever. And I still can't believe I'm here. And have an amazing week, everyone. And George, it's a pleasure to host with you. And Dom, I just love you. And have an amazing week, everyone. Lots of love. Happy Easter.
Bye.
Happy belated Easter.
I'll send you to the green room. Just put your mutes on if need be,
Ciao
and then you can go and say, see you later. Right, that's it. Well, look, thank you so much again. Some of your comments, it really, I can't really just say as much as what they've just said. It is lovely hanging out with you all, and you feel that community, and that's what we wanted to bring to the show, is community, conversations. If you're enjoying this, please tell people about it, and the more of us that we can get in here, the better. But in some ways it's quite nice being our own little cozy gang, isn't it? This is our little club. So if you want to be part of it, you need to be in the know, and you lot are in the know, so well done. So thank you Ruth for being in. Thank you Ryan, Lorenzo, great to have you. Becky, fab show, fab. Really good. I can't say enough. Platform, you need to get on board with this. We are so excited. I know I've got some insiders going on there. I'll be telling you more about that going forward over the next few weeks. This is a new online live events community that's all about elevating your hair career. I promise you it's going to be exciting. We built it away from your usual social media channels. It's our own sort of particularly designed group, so we'll reveal more. But thank you all so much. Have a great evening, what's left of it, and we will see you 2 weeks time. All right, same place, same time, 8 o'clock. So until then, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.